My abusive mother tried to scam my children, so I got her arrested and filed a restraining order. My mom is a welfare mom with 7 kids from multiple men. I am the oldest, so while she was out entertaining men, I took care of my younger siblings. Each night my mother would stumble into the house, makeup smeared all over her face, smelling like cheap alcohol. I always tried to keep my siblings from seeing our mother like that, but it didn't take long for them to notice mom's drunken nights. When I was old enough to get a job, I tried to save money to move out of the 2-bedroom roach-infested apartment, but always noticed my money would go missing. My mother would then show up with brand new fancy purses, coats, or jewelry. One time I tried to confront her about it and she slapped me across the face for accusing her of stealing my money. I never had real evidence to know she was stealing from me, but deep down I knew, and it made me hate her so much more. I promised myself I would be a better mother in person than her, so I began focusing on getting into a good college and a better life. I ended up graduating top of my class, and later, I even got into Harvard Law School. My mother didn't bother to go to any of my graduations and she laughed at me, saying I was not smart enough to go to college or law school. Then I met my husband, we got married and had 3 kids together. I wanted to my children everything that I never had, so we lived in a beautiful home, went on vacations twice a year, and they all are in the best private schools money could offer. As much as I tried to keep my mother away from my family, she would always show up and try to make me feel guilty for my life, saying I abandoned my siblings, like it was my responsibility to take care of them my entire life. Most of my siblings have followed my mother's path. My youngest sister is already pregnant with her 2nd child at 18 and working in a local convenience store. I felt it was best to try to remove myself and my children from my toxic family. At first I tried to have my mother come visit and see her grandchildren, but she would tell her sob story about how poor she was while I was living in the lap of luxury. She even mocked us, calling us the royal family, and would bow whenever we saw her. It was annoying, but I refused to apologize for giving my children a better life. The last time I saw my mother, she asked me for $5,000 for an important business investment, which was probably drugs. When I refused, she gave me a dirty look and walked into the room where my children were playing. I thought the conversation was over and went to make some dinner when suddenly I see my mother taking money from my 8-year-old daughter. I overheard her telling her grandma was sick and needed money to get medicine. I instantly got the flashback of when she used to steal my hard-earned money and quickly told my husband to call the cops and ran into the room to snatch the $100 bill from my mother's hands. My mother began to yell, calling me a selfish bitch, and began trashing my house. When the cops came, they escorted her out in handcuffs. I learned later that they found some of my jewelry in her jacket. I decided I am going to press charges against her and get a restraining order. I know she is my mother, but I will not let her continue to ruin my life and the lives of my children. Our court order date is next week.